In the heart of Abuja, Maitama to be precise, there lived a very beautiful classic girl named Ngozi, NG for short. Ngozi was a banker. She was doing well for herself. She had attained the height she wanted. She had her own car, her own house. She was living her life to the fullest. Ngozi, on the other part, loved God. She loved everything about Christ. She loved everything about church. She was attending this very beautiful, big, all-gospel church in Maitama. In this church, there's so many people, men of timbers and caliber, various kind of people. But to everyone Ngozi had dated, either from the church or from her place of work, all of them were just the wrong people. They were always wrong for her. They were either going against her will or wanting her to do something she doesn't want to do, or people that were just there to suck her dry. Those Abuja big boys with nothing to their head, forming all handsome as if it's their handsomeness that is going to feed someone. Ngozi was just tired of meeting the sons of Pharaoh and no one to be his son. Ngozi was really tired. She was fed up of this attitude. She was even tired of dating. She had made up her mind that she was just going to wait for whoever was going to get married to her. She was just going to continue going to church, going to work, and hanging out with her friends. But there was this young, handsome man that caught her attention in church. His name was Edward. Edward wasn't just the regular kind of Abuja guy. People in the church knew that Edward was a rich man. He was an aeronautic engineer. He is a philanthropist because whatsoever they needed in the church, Edward was one of those people that gave a major contribution. Edward was every woman's spec. Most women at the church wanted to get close to him. They wanted to date him. But they knew he was very selective about the kind of women he dated. But something Ngozi never understood was the fact that she could hear that Edward was with this lady, and all of a sudden, in 3 months' time, the relationship wasn't working. And she started asking herself, was the lady at fault? Was Edward at fault? What was going on? She had already heard that Edward was in 5 different relationships, but none of them ever worked out. She was really surprised, but she couldn't ask any of them. If the parties decided to go separate ways, it wasn't in her position to be the judge. And one thing she noticed that whenever these ladies don't work out with Edward, they end up getting married to someone else. She kept her calm. Edward had never ever come close to her. Edward had not even noticed her. She just continued going to church and living her life. Not until one fateful evening after the Friday Bible study. That day, Ngozi did not ride, not because she did not have a car, but she just told herself that it wasn't going to rain, and obviously the Bible study was going to finish by 6. She could just use the opportunity to take a stroll. But the moment they were done with the Bible study, it started raining. While standing in front of the church thinking of what to do, whether to get a boat, whether to get a car, Edward quickly honked and asked her to join him. Ngozi quickly joined him because he was a member of the church. She knew him. Most people knew him. Obviously, he wasn't going to harm her. And while they sat down in the car, driving home, Edward and Ngozi started conversing, getting to know one another, trying to catch up. And when Edward spoke about himself, Ngozi just kept on nodding, more like she already knew all those things. Obviously, who doesn't know Edward now? The big shark, the philanthropist. Most people knew about him. She was the one that needed to introduce herself to him because she wasn't even sure that Edward knew anything about her. When Edward was done, Ngozi introduced herself, told Edward about herself, her nature of job, what she did. Edward gradually piqued interest in Ngozi. And it didn't take long. Edward and Ngozi started dating. And that was when she found out that Edward was really wealthy. But she had never visited him before. That was against her feet. She was the kind of person that had made up her mind not to go visit any man till she gets married. She didn't want to hear, oh, I was drunk and so whatnot. And another thing was that she was very, very shy. As much as she tried to socialize in the Christian way, she was very, very shy when it comes to a lot of things. Even while they were dating, whenever Edward wanted to talk about some certain things, Ngozi quickly brushes it off. She was not ready to talk about them. She always avoided them. Edward would try to tell her about the way he feels about some things, probably sex life, and Ngozi would brush it off. She wasn't ready in any way to talk about it. And few months down the line, Edward was talking marriage. She was excited. She had already advanced in age. She was 30. She wasn't young anymore. If Edward wants to get married to her, then it's a good thing. Moreover, during their period of dating, Edward seemed like a nice guy. But the moment her marriage to Edward was announced in the church, she noticed that some ladies were looking at her in a very funny way, but she wasn't bothered. In her mind, she thought that she is the one that had finally caught Edward. She's the Mrs. Edward to be. She was happy, raising her shoulders high, not until after they got married. Their marriage was a very beautiful one, a splendid one. The way she wanted it to be, Edward made sure to do it her way. But the night of the wedding, the moment Ngozi entered her room, she was shocked. She looked at everywhere. It didn't feel like a bedroom at all. It felt like a cage. The whole room was red, with handcuffs, and different things on the bed. Ngozi looked at Edward and asked Edward, what's going on here? Edward smiled and said, this is me. This is the way I like my things. This is the way I like my bed matrix. I like it in a different way. And you know, I always try to talk about it. You always pushed it aside. I always try to bring it up to know if you were comfortable with it. But you always shied away. So this is it. This is what you signed up for. Hope you're ready for it. Ngozi sat down and started crying immediately. What did she get herself into? She was 30, for crying out loud. Why did she even try to listen to what he had to say? So was she supposed to allow him handcuff her and do what? She started pleading with Edward. Please, I am sorry. I am very, very sorry. I wish I listened to you, but I can't. I'm not sure I can. Please forgive me. Please, please, please. Edward looked at her and said, I don't believe in divorce. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about it. Most ladies in the church, most people I know, don't like it. And that's why they walked away. I tried to talk to you about it. I'm going to give you a period of time. You have to think about it and know what you are going to do. But I don't believe in divorce. And he stormed out of the room. Ngozi sat down there crying seriously. She did not even know what she had gotten herself into. How can she be with a man that loved BDSM? How? Why will we wait for Edward to give Ngozi her time to think about what to do, as he does not believe in divorce? She had already signed in for that. I'd like you to share your thoughts. Do you think Ngozi should walk away? Or do you think she should try to reason with him? Probably she might enjoy it. Probably she might be okay being submissive and him being dominating in nature. We don't know, right? She had not even tried it before. Obviously, she still was a virgin. So what do you think? I'd like you to share your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think Ngozi should walk away from that marriage? But even if she wanted to walk away, how was she going to do it? Because Edward does not believe in divorce. Or probably she should give it an open heart. Try to learn it since that was what he enjoyed. Please and please, drop your thoughts in the comment section. Do not forget, please watch our stories to the very end. Share our stories to your loved ones. So we'll see you again in our next story. Bye for now.